Thompson is a walking bucket.
Said it, I'm golden. Told you I'm shining. Had to break through. Plan perfect timing. Giving no hands. Go get it. Radix the ruler. Can't put them.
I want to give FanDuel a shout out for sponsoring today's video, where we will not be talking about size. And trust me, I understand size does matter, which is kind of unfortunate for me, but also unfortunate for the Miami Heat because they're definitely lacking it. As we've discussed many times over the last couple of weeks, the Heat desperately could use some size. But another thing that I think they could desperately use is some shooting. Yes, this offseason, the Heat did add Norman Powell, but we also lost Duncan Robinson, who is literally the best shooter in our franchise's history. A couple years back, we lost Max Strus. We decided not to retain Cole Swider, and there's really not another shooter in the pipeline like Cole Swider was that I think could be the next sniper. You know, guys like Eric Stevenson or Javonte Cook, they definitely had their moments in the summer league, but I don't think either one of those guys could be classified as some lethal sniper. However, the same cannot be said about one of the Heat's newest signees, and that, of course, is Ethan Thompson, who the Heat just signed to an Exhibit 10 contract about a week ago, which essentially is just a non-guaranteed training camp deal that has incentive bonuses if the player is retained by a team's G League affiliate. The deal can also be converted to a two-way contract, kind of like what happened with Isaiah Stevens last year. He was actually initially signed to an Exhibit 10 contract, but played so well in training camp, he did get a two-way spot and pretty much played the whole season in Sioux Falls, but I think he ended up getting to play a game or two on the official Heat roster. As far as where things stand right now with the Heat roster, we know that they do have one two-way spot open, but they do have 2 spots left for their training camp roster in which teams are allowed to carry up to 21 players. So they could still sign a couple guys. They signed a few so far like Ethan Thompson and Jameer Young, who we will talk about in another video. Now, I don't want to overhype Ethan Thompson, but he's basically a prime version of Klay Thompson. No, I'm just kidding. Let me relax a little bit. He's not even close to that, but I do think he has potential to be a great shooter in this league and even a more versatile player. From watching some film, he really doesn't appear to me to fit in that Cole Swider mold, who Cole Swider was a much better shooter, but it does appear that Ethan Thompson can actually get to the rim a little bit more and holds his own defensively, which are some things that could not have been said about Cole Swider. Now, like Swider, Ethan Thompson is also 26 years old, so he's not a super young prospect or anything, but maybe he's a late bloomer because he really had a breakout year last year shooting the ball in the G League with the Osceola Magic. Last season for them, he scored 18 points a night, shooting 39% from 3 on 8 attempts, and that's across 31 games. And then even in 5 playoff games for the Osceola Magic, he shot 40% from 3 on 8 attempts. That level of efficiency on that kind of volume doesn't seem fluky to me. And it's on a pretty decent sample size too. It's not like he just played 4 games or something like that. So I don't think that kind of efficiency is a fluke. But I'm also not going to lie to you, I do get a little bit concerned when I look at his previous seasons and his 3 prior years in the G League between the Windy City Bulls and the Mexico City Capitanes. He shot 31%, 37%, and 31% from 3 respectively. So that's not really great efficiency. And then you can even go back to his college days where in 4 years at Oregon State, he only shot 34% from 3 for his career, and his senior season, he shot slightly under 33% from 3. So we have several years of subpar to mediocre efficiency, and then one awesome shooting year last year with Orlando's G League affiliate. So the inconsistency definitely concerns me, but I think he's absolutely worth taking a flyer on him for a training camp deal. So I do like the prospect as of right now. Plus, the Heat have had some luck with their last guard from Oregon State, which of course is Gary Payton. But outside of Gary Payton, there really hasn't been many Oregon State players in the league. Right now, the only current players are Gary Payton II assuming someone even signs him. And then Drew Eubanks, who was actually a teammate of Ethan Thompson his freshman year in college. The official Miami Heat website has him listed at 6'5", 195 pounds. And based off the film that I watched, he looks like a guy who's able to use his size to be a more versatile scorer than someone who just shoots the ball. I think his drive game can actually be a strength of his. I did read that coming into his first G League season, something that one of the scouts wrote about him was that he is a great downhill driving threat that can use good footwork and body control to guide him from the perimeter to the paint before using his size around the rim. They also noted how in college, he averaged 6.5 free throw attempts per 40 minutes, which was 6th in the Pac-12. So obviously a guy that can get to the rim and draw free throws. That's also something that he can use in addition to his shooting. And based off some other things I read, he really seems like a Heat culture type of guy as well, which y'all know I'm desperately begging the Heat to get back to. They need to sign some more dogs on this roster, and I think that's something that Ethan Thompson can be. One of the quotes I read about him was from his head coach at Oregon State, Wayne Tinkle, which is a very unfortunate name for anybody, especially a basketball head coach. But Wayne Tinkle said that he's a highly skilled, very competitive, tough-nosed perimeter player who will add a lot of talent to our group. He's a very capable defender who loves to mix it up and loves to guard the other team's best player. Those are things that I love to hear, and they just absolutely scream Heat culture. His head coach added on that he also rebounds it very well for a guard, and he brings toughness. Once again, all things I love to hear. And again, although his shooting numbers are inconsistent, he has shown the ability to be a big-time player. In his senior year at college, he helped carry a 12th seeded Oregon State all the way to the Elite Eight. And he's had multiple 30-plus point outbursts across his college and G League career, including his G League career high of 42 points in just 2024. So I'm excited to see what he can do going into training camp. And I just wanted to provide y'all with a little bit of background so we know something about him as the training camp approaches in about a month. But that's all I gotta say for this video. Shout out to the sponsor, FanDuel, once again. And also, make sure y'all fill out my Family Feud questionnaire linked in the description below, because I'm gonna have some of your favorite Heat content creators battle it out, and they'll be using the answers that you fill out in the questionnaire. So make sure to do that for me. Also, make sure to subscribe and like the video, because those things are greatly appreciated. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.